Graybeard Gaming. Welcome, everybody, to the Graybeard Gaming Podcast. I'm your host, Scott, and I am making this up as I go. As always, I have David and Liam, and this week we are talking about Indiana Jones, other massive game drops, and Sean Layden can't shut up. So let's jump into this real quick because we have a lot to talk about game-wise, surprisingly. So I'm going to go last because I think I played everything on the planet over the weekend. But let's start with David and see what David's been up to this week.
I have actually gone back to Subnautica.
Ooh.
I felt like I needed something a little calm and quiet.
Yeah.
And I started playing. There's Subnautica 1, and then it's not really Subnautica 2. It's just Subnautica Below Zero.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why, but I feel like because Below Zero is a newer Subnautica game, that I should play that one. But in reality, Below Zero doesn't really have the same amount of content as the first Subnautica. So, I might jump back into that first one. But I've been playing that, and I've been playing the new Black Ops zombie map. I played like maybe, I don't know, like 30 rounds, like maybe 3 or 4 times, and then I looked up the Easter eggs. Holy fucking shit! Like, I'm sorry. Was that?
Is there a lot of them? No.
I mean, it's ridiculous.
There's a lot of stuff to do. It's always.
It's like me and the wife were watching it to get a leg up on some of the Easter eggs. Okay, we'll find out what to do, and then we're just like slowly like dozing off. Like, are you sure? Like, and then we look at the YouTube, and it's like halfway. It's not even like all the way, and she's like, "This is half. This is crazy. You have to put 4 swords in. Like, you have to do something with the swords."
Oh, we're going back to all that, aren't we? Oh no,
it's ridiculous.
Yep.
And then and I was really like, maybe we could really get a handle on some of these Easter eggs, because I was trying to get a handle on the Liberty Easter eggs.
Yeah.
And I was like, maybe I could do it on this one, and nope. I'm like, forget it. I'm not even gonna bother.
Yeah. I mean, Liberty to that. That's wow.
Yeah.
So
and you know what else? I was just gonna say really quick. Did you guys do the Xbox year-end thing?
Oh no, I haven't done that yet. No.
Oh, okay. Do it now, right now.
It'd probably say, "Dude, where you been?"
Yeah.
I could probably look it up. But I was going to ask you. I haven't checked out the new map. I totally forgot about it. What's the map?
Yeah.
Is it? What I don't even know what the setting
is. It's like a castle. It's like a castle, and it's like very spooky and scary. Ooh. I actually really like it a lot.
Okay.
Liam can give his review, but for me, I like it a lot. I think it's has a very creepy vibe to it, a lot creepier than the other ones. And I also like that new monster. Do you know what it's called?
I forgot what it's called.
Yeah, but he is fucking fast. Like, you're running, you are running like this, and the normal thing to do is to just turn around and shoot. You turn around, that motherfucker is like right here, and you're like, what the fuck? And you turn back around, and you turn around, shit. So that's like really fun. And there's 2. I think there's 2 of them. There's one that like is like a whole bunch of people together. I mean, it's freaky, man.
Okay.
So I'm with it. Like, they did a lot, in my opinion. But Liam, pass the torch to you.
Is that Liam? Are you gonna have the same experience? Have you completely?
I did have the same experience at first when I first played the map, because that monster just comes at you so fast.
Yeah, he's up your ass.
Basically what happens is he's like he's a monster for that map. And if you're on Terminus, there's another monster called the Amalgam. So what this one does, if he eats zombies, and he turns into the bigger one, which is the Amalgam, which is even worse.
Wait, he eats zombies and gets bigger?
Yeah.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah, that's basically what happens. So you want to kill him when he's in that sort of fast stage, because he's a lot weaker.
Yeah.
and then the normal ones. But yeah, he's fast, and I do love that map when it comes to the setting and the feel, the atmosphere, because that is like old COD zombie feel.
Mm-hmm.
Like the new maps are big and massive, and you can do whatever really. These ones are very claustrophobic. You can, you can die in a hallway very, very quickly.
Yep.
So you have to like really, really be careful.
Mm-hmm.
Especially like when Black Ops 6 spawns, because they spawn from everywhere. You think you're fine. You're like, oh, look, I just turned around. Here's some zombies, and then 20 spawn behind you. You're like, oh, fuck, dead.
Yeah, that's how I remember like some of the older zombies. When like Black Ops 2 and Black Ops, I think it was 4 or whatever. When there's like 20 things to do, you get matches like, okay, you ready? Yeah. Okay, let's go do this, and it's like, what? Go do what? Like take this rock, put it in this hole, and then turn around 3 times, and then pull it out, and then throw it. It's now a grenade. I'm like, what? That doesn't even make any sense.
Yeah. It's still got plenty of Easter eggs like that. Me and a friend tried doing one. We got like 90% there to the boss, but we couldn't get to the boss because there were too many zombies. We passed too many rounds. There were about like round 30, and everything spawned in, and we just died. Like,
man.
But it's a very lengthy one to Easter egg to do. Even I'm like, okay. The swords are quite fun though. I love the fire sword because you can just like do a big fire attack.
Well, who doesn't like a fire sword?
Yeah. Have you seen? I've seen this video of this guy explaining all the Easter eggs, and he gets to this point where it's like, you have to figure out this puzzle with the different symbols of the astrological whatever signs.
Yeah.
Gemini, Aries, all. And then he pops up a little cheat sheet. He's like, you got to screenshot this and follow it. I'm like, I'm not screenshotting. Are you kidding me? I'm fighting zombies, and you want me to screenshot some shit and look at that? Oh, wait, it's the Gemini. Yeah, no, definitely, yes.
Yeah.
Well, you gotta be fucking out of your mind. Why would anybody want to do any of this shit? It's crazy.
It's funny. It's like some of the Easter eggs like that are very thought out code-wise. You have to like really like know codes or have a good memory because you have to like put things in order.
Yeah.
And then there's some Easter eggs that make no sense whatsoever. Like, why did they put that in there?
Right.
One of the Easter eggs, right? There's a cannon that you can like fire yourself out.
One of the very first. Oh wait, you could fire yourself out of it?
Yeah, you can fire yourself out
like
of it.
Sea of Thieves. Yeah.
But you first of all you use cannon to open the castle. Then you can fire yourself, wherever in the map, really, like a shortcut. So there's an Easter egg. That you have to go in the cannon 100 times.
Oh my god.
100 times so if you don't die halfway through, 100 times, then it takes you to another place just to get like some equipment. That is the Easter egg.
Wait, so 100 times in a match?
Yeah.
But
it just gives you some equipment, like the monkey bombs.
No.
Monkey bombs. Yes.
Yeah, there's some monkeys.
Oh, with the little the symbols.
It just gives you 2 of them at the end of it. That's the Easter egg. Like what?
Yeah,
I feel
don't
like
know about
that.
Like
I feel like the devs that make this shit, they're basically like the ice cream man. And just making the kids run after them. They just speed up. It's just enough so the
they do.
Like watch me make these me make these kids sweat. Watch this. It's like, what are you doing to us? Why are you doing this to us?
So some of the Easter eggs are fun to do, and some of you are like, what have I just wasted like 4 hours on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then I seen these guys on YouTube that do the whole fucking thing in like the first round. Like I seen some guy.
I know, it's ridiculous.
The Liberty map. He does it on the first round. He does all of the Easter eggs.
Yeah,
which is nuts.
That guy
like
there's a way. A day job.
Well, there's like a way where you trigger like more zombies to come out, even though you're still on the first round, and then that's what they use to get more money, to open up more doors, and then they open up these doors so that they can do that. Yeah. It's really that shit like blows my mind because these guys really try to like figure out like the most efficient way. I mean, I don't know. They must be like data analysts or some shit like that.
Yeah, I've had friends like that are just like they're not in it for the fun. They're in it for like the numbers. You know, it's like if you've played, and anybody that's played like WoW or whatever, you know that guy that guy's in your group. The guys that guy that has all the numbers, right?
Yeah.
It's like you don't want to use that sword because that is 2% less durability and 1% plus fire damage. But if you use this and take this and put this gem in it, and then take that gem and you know, it's like, dude, I just want to swing a sword. Just leave me alone. It's like, no, you're doing it wrong. It's like, shut up. So, but
you're the Leroy Jenkins.
Yeah,
Leroy Jenkins.
Yeah, I'm like, fuck it. Yeah, rip my shirt off.
Go.
You know. But now those guys make videos for us. Thank you.
Right.
Yeah.
We can just copy what they do.
What the funniest part of the Easter egg, and people do this on purpose. The devs do it on purpose, and the content creators do it on purpose, because all of us are children. The Easter eggs, when it comes to it, you have to put the swords in their, I don't know what you call them actually, like where you put a sword. Chiefs. That's the word.
Like on your belt. Yeah.
Yeah. So they have spots to put, and that's when you upgrade them. Of course, no one actually says the right words, so it ends up being right. You put the sword in the holes, and then you grab these balls, and you put the balls in the holes, and then you suckle these zombies to the balls, and it's like, oh my god.
Oh yeah, that's like doing a Destiny raid where everybody, like each person you do the Destiny raid with has their own verbiage for what you're doing. What are you calling those things? Those flying octopus? You mean those? Like those? It's like, yeah, that's not what you call them. It's like, that's what I call them. Well, you're fucking everything up.
I know. That's what happens. It's hilarious, though. It's
my
god! I don't know what else to call them. So yeah, all these balls.
It looks like a horse. Why are you calling it an octopus?
That doesn't look like a horse. Yeah, then you get in a huge argument, and then you just rage quit. But that sounds like a blast. I totally forgot that was coming out. I want to jump in that.
I also played this week Life is Strange. I finished that.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
How was that? What's your overall take on the finished product?
Not as good as the first one, because I think the first it's like a lot of entertainment. Like the first one sometimes in things like is the best, you know.
Right.
It's hard to live up.
It can't duplicate the first.
Yeah.
So but it was good, and then it left me with this question of like, where are we going with this?
Oh, that's not good. Yeah.
No, and it is sort of curious, but like, what happened? So I genuinely like. I always thought Life is Strange games as just creative ways to tell a story.
Yeah.
Like it's telling a story. It's got a lesson behind it, but it just happens. Oh, that person can, I don't know, have like a random power of some sort.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because.
Yeah.
Now, honestly, I don't know if this is spoiling anything, if anyone cares, but it feels like they're going the MCU route in that they want to build a franchise with powers. It feels like an Avengers setup with powers. That's what it feels like. I'm like, what
well, okay, that does not sound like terrible.
It just felt like so out of left field for me, though. I was like, are we doing superheroes right now? All right.
Well, it's kind of they kind of it's more like they're probably more like X-Men, right? Kind of like a
very... something weird. And honestly, I still can't get my head around the story, to be honest.
They're making a hero shooter. That's it. They're making a hero shooter.
But there will be more games, hopefully, because I think the studio laid people off. So.
Yeah, it didn't sell well, and I think that was, a lot of these studios now, it's like if their game doesn't sell right off the bat,
I think with these games, I think it's very hard to sell a game like this. They sold a $70 game out of this Life is Strange game, plus $100 for the Ultimate Super Deluxe stuff.
Wait a minute, these games aren't typically $70, are they? Like
That's
historically,
Yeah.
They've been like 50 or something, 40 or 50.
So but this one was 70, and and they had the higher price. I think that's what really hurt it.
Well, yeah.
Because these games are still like 10 hours.
Yeah.
There's only 5 episodes.
Yeah.
But wait a minute, 70 pounds?
We lost David for a second.
Yeah.
Okay, you're back.
Am I gone?
You lagged a little bit.
Oh.
You talking about 70 pounds or $70? I think right now the exchange rate is really close, isn't it?
Yeah, 70 euro.
Well, I mean, we pay the same, even though the exchange rate is different, but we still pay £70, which is ridiculous. In euros, it's 80.
Oh. Okay.
Sorry, mate.
Oh, even worse.
Yeah. I don't want to think about Canada and Australia, but yeah. So I don't think these games deserve that price tag.
No.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they look good.
I don't think it deserves 50.
Yeah.
Like, is that like a, I don't know, you can have also an RPG that lasts 300 hours, also $70. I'm not saying that game length defines it, but the type of game is.
Yeah, you have to price it for your market. And that doesn't go in that AAA market. That's still technically more of an indie AA game.
So I think that hurt it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I mean, I'd rather see like 10 million buy a $40 game than 2 million buy a $70 one. Mm-hmm. You have to like make that differential.
Yeah, you want to price it accordingly, but that's probably really hard to do. I mean, look at Concord. We can use Concord as an example. That should have been free. That absolutely should have been a free-to-play game, and they slapped $40 on it. And is that what made it fail? No, but that absolutely did not help. No, at all. No.
But what made it well. I mean, we can all go on Concord all the time. Yeah. Why they priced it at $40 is because they used high textured assets, cinematics that it never needed.
No, it didn't need it. Absolutely.
That game budget absolutely blew out proportion.
Yep.
That's why it was a paid game.
Yeah. But and they said no microtransactions.
Yeah.
It's like, are you sure you want to do that, bro? I don't know. But yeah, it's gaming right now as far as pricing. Entertainment in general for pricing. People are not going to movies as much as they used to. They're not buying games as much as they used to because the economy is garbage right now. So sometimes it comes down to paying that playing that game or maybe eating that week.
Especially if next year with certain politics in a certain country, tariffs might go up.
Right.
So
right.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So so economy, just
yeah, we'll see. Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens with that, but I know everybody else is kind of looking at that. I don't know really how that's gonna. How is that gonna affect games? Not gaming, but not necessarily games. Now, consoles and PC equipment, all that, absolutely. But I don't know. That's going to be really weird because, and technically, we've all said it's like we all thought that when these guys were going to go digital, much like PC, the prices would drop. Because it's cheaper to produce those games. You got no plastic, no cardboard, no nothing. You just upload it, and all you're paying for is bandwidth and servers. Yep. You're not, that didn't happen. That did not happen at all.
Of course it won't, because obviously consoles are probably just used to pay the same price.
Yeah. Right. Well, yeah, and and of course we didn't see a drop in prices. This
we saw an increase in prices.
Yep.
Yeah, it went up.
Yeah.
So if people, if these companies expect PS6 and Xbox whatever to be to 80 or something, like go to hell.
Well, we're going to talk a little bit about that. I got some things that Sean Layden said that I'm gonna bust out on you guys, and we're gonna talk about it. But is that all you played? You've been like incognito. I haven't seen you all week. I figured you were probably like had like a pillow or a blanket like over your screen, over your head, playing zombies, so that you like didn't know what time of day it was.
I wish I could do that, but we had a pretty heavy storm here actually.
Really?
Well, so, yeah.
Oh man, rain or
wind, like massive wind, and
wow,
90-mile-an-hour wind, and
wow. That's crazy. We had a 70 took our front tree out. 90 is 90 is nuts.
That's unusual. That's definitely unusual for here, especially if it didn't hit Scotland first. So I was busy with other things, and then that happened. So as much as I would like to just be undercover and play zombies all day, I can't.
Yeah, I know. Wouldn't that be the life?
So I did try a bit of Indiana Jones as well.
Yeah. Okay.
I just played a little bit of the intro when it comes to it.
Okay, wait. I'm gonna stop you right there. Just the intro is kind of a spoiler, so
I won't say it.
We can talk about it, but don't.
That intro was really good.
Yes, it is. It's really cool.
And then I progressed, and a Nazi punched me. So, but what I did was I played some of my Xbox. And I've downloaded it on my PC because I know they've got a lot of ray tracing options and all sorts.
Oh yeah.
So I'm going to try on my PC as well and see how that handles, because a lot of people were sort of scared of the PC requirements. It's a really good engine though.
It really is. It is very good.
So I'm going to try that as well sometime.
Yeah. So you're going to kind of compare I want to do that too. I've got the Xbox S and I want to download it on that. I think the wife Jenny is streaming it right now. I streamed it over the weekend, and there was a patch. If you got it in early access, it didn't have the ray tracing options until I think
until
yesterday.
Yeah.
And I played around with that. And go to Graybeard Gaming on Twitch and take a look at me kicking the shit out of my frames. Went from 165 down to 28. Oh, it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
28 frames per second. Anyway, I changed it back. Well, cool. So what did you think? I mean, so far, I know it's probably too early to but that's exactly what I'm about to go into. So what did you think of the intro, the gameplay,
I liked it. Not much to say at the moment.
Yeah.
I did enjoy that. Hopefully, I wasn't great in the combat, to be honest. I'm not great at parries in games. When it says press this button to block.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what game, I can never get timing right. So I always get the shit kicked out of me first.
Yeah, that first encounter is going to kick the shit out of you, and I think it's on purpose, because later in the game you find ways of getting the upper hand.
Oh yeah.
It's not all about you're not going to each person you come in contact with is not going to be a boxing match.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and I'll get into that in a little bit, but it gets way more fun than that.
yeah.
So, but cool. So, all right.
Yeah.
Well, if you want now. I'm guessing, David, you didn't play any Indiana Jones?
I just watched your stream.
Did you?
And I thought it looked cool.
Yeah, thanks for
it looked cool from your
in.
stream. Yeah. I was watching it for a little while. I think a lot of it was cinematic. I saw. Maybe when I joined you, it was a lot of cinematic that I was watching.
Yeah, there's long periods without any cutscenes. I will say that. Mm-hmm. So if anybody's worried about it being there is a lot of cutscenes, but there are. And I typically don't like these kind of games. These games that stops everything and then takes control from you. But man, they did it really good. I mean, it's really good. The first of all, I'm 8 years old, sitting in a theater watching Raiders Lost Ark for the first time. Nobody knew who this guy was. Nobody knew what the hell this movie was. I mean, it's people saw the trailer, they saw the hat, and they're like, "Is it a Western?" Like, no. I remember seeing a truck in the trailer. It's like, but he had a bullwhip. It's like, but it's not a Western. Yeah. There was a horse. It's not a Western. I mean, it's like nobody knew what this was. My 8-year-old self did not know what the Ark was or any of that stuff. So watching this movie. We went to my mom took it to we went to this theater that was a one-screen theater, which they don't have anymore. So it's this giant screen and a bunch of seats, and on one day they had it for $1. So we waited in line
Wow.
like 2 hours to see this movie for $1. And you think, oh man, that's kind of crazy, but this was a packed theater. This was like every seat was taken. It was a huge theater. People were screaming, people were laughing, people were, I mean, it jumping up and cheering at the end. I mean, it was just such an experience because, you know, this was the start of those 80s like super high quality action movies, you know.
Nice.
Yeah. So, fan ever since. I'm just a huge, you know, Indiana Jones fan. The intro is obviously going to be familiar to you. I won't give it away, but it is a tutorial, and I think they did. I thought it was like, oh, this is kind of hokey. I think it for me and a lot of people that are, you know, fans of that movie or movies, the series of movies, is that it is a little bit of nostalgia, and I felt like an 8-year-old again. I really did. I felt like I was like, you know, watching this for the first time and going into, you know, playing Indiana Jones, and so I was very apprehensive about this game. Anything that Microsoft is making right now, my excitement is below zero. Every developer so far that's these future games has just come out and just been just a complete jackass, and nobody's apologizing or, you know, so, you know. With that being said, I was really concerned about it. No, these guys love Indiana Jones movies, and this is absolutely an Indiana Jones movie with a lot of adventure and puzzle solving and sneaking around and stuff. Everything you see Indiana Jones doing in the movies, you're doing in this game.
Nice.
It is not what you think. It is not a Uncharted clone. It's not a Tomb Raider clone. They went out and they made a game that is the quality and charm and humor of Indiana Jones, and they absolutely nailed it.
Yeah.
And, you know, God bless them. There is a scene, and I streamed it, but I didn't have any sound. You could hear me, but I didn't have any sound. And like 2 hours in, somebody said, "I can't hear your game," and I'm looking over, and I'm like,
Oh,
like
wow.
click. I'm like, God. And there was a cut scene that I laughed out loud. It was hilarious. And I won't say it was. It's early in the game in the Vatican, but it was such an Indiana Jones moment, and it captured that George Lucas / Steven Spielberg / Lawrence Kasdan humor. And there's a lot of other things about it, but man, this is a fantastic game. It looks good. I don't care what that sheet says about the requirements. This thing runs great. On my 4070 Super, I've got everything on as high as it can go, with no path tracing, no ray tracing. I'm getting like anywhere from 120 to 160 frames per second. And this is in large open areas. It makes no difference. If you're in a large open area, you're in a little bitty closet. It's like the frame rate is the same. I don't know how they're doing this, but the cutscenes are locked at 60. And it also has a mode for cinematic. So you have these big letterbox bars at the top and bottom, and it you know, stretches the screen out. It's just like you would watching it at the movie theater, which is great. The cutscenes look great, but first person, I had to turn it back. It was.
Yeah, I mean that's great for ultra wide monitors as well.
Yeah.
But how do you feel like the the first person to third person, because you know you go out of third person to do something, go back into third.
Yeah,
first
it's very it's light. I'm gonna say, without using, just lack of a better term. So like if you swing on something, it's gonna go into third person, so you can kind of gauge where you're gonna land and where you're gonna grab. You know. And then when you grab it, you kind of go back into. So it's not like it's doing this a lot, and it's not like it's taking you way out and going way back in. Sometimes I want a third person view just to see what my character is doing, and then sometimes I wish it was more in first person. You know, doing other things. Like there's some times where you use your whip to swing on something, and then you got to climb up the whip and then grab something else. And it would be more beneficial to be in first person to be able to see where to grab, because maybe the camera is not hitting it quite right. But other than that, I mean, it just it has it has a good way of not taking you out of the moment or not yanking you out of first person. You know, you kind of like, it kind of just moves the camera behind you and then goes back in front of you. I don't know. That's the best way I can explain it.
Yeah, I didn't know it's another game that actually makes use of Xbox, you know, with the whole quick resume and everything, because it's just single player.
Yeah, single player game. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I did notice on the menu, I don't know if this was just like for the tutorial, but I hope it continues throughout the game. On the menu, you have sort of the menu options and Indiana, like in the background there. And then when I pressed resume, it just sort of went into focus on the same shot with his hat, and just went into gameplay.
Really? Well,
Yeah.
when you load the game, like if you save your game and load it, you get like a silhouette of where he is in third person.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
he
so
might
I
be
mean,
standing there like holding his
Yeah.
hat, and then when you click continue, you go whoosh, and then back into first person. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, but it just like seamlessly goes into
I
it.
know, and you're like when you click like your game like continue, you're in it. You're like already in it. You're like, oh,
wow.
I'm playing.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's really quick. These guys know this engine, and why they're not using this for more games is just kind of.
Well, I mean, a lot of people will say that, but also the issue is when it comes to different game engines is developers use a lot of contractors as well. And in and out.
Well, Microsoft likes to, yeah.
But like, most people that come into game development know Unreal.
Right.
That's a common game engine.
Yeah.
Specialized game engines or different, game engines.
Well,
that's why.
Yeah,
I wish they did use this engine more.
I know. Yeah, I do too. But yeah, I commented on that when somebody was saying, why don't they use id Tech for Halo? And I'm like, well, I said the same thing. It's like when you're hiring new people, they're not going to know id Tech unless they came directly from id Software or Machine Games.
Yeah.
But, they're going to know Unreal from previous work. And so your pool of talent is much larger with Unreal than it is id Tech. But, in-house, I mean, I could see this being a fabulous, Gears of War engine, but...
Actually, I would say but also the Coalition know how to make Unreal, like, really work, too.
They do, yeah.
Like, they know the engine, just like these guys know id Tech.
This is... and I also have to mention there was a couple of parts in the game at the first reveal trailer that looked really janky. Especially the third person. In the game, it does not. It looks way better. It made it look like placeholder. So these animations worked really well, and I was like, oh god, it's coming up. This is it, and I'm like, oh wow, that looked really good.
Yeah. Plus, it's already getting patches anyway. So if there was junk, it's probably patched out right now.
Yeah. The puzzles are great. The puzzles, I've found a couple. Even when I'm like, call my wife in here. I'm like, you gotta help me open this safe. This is just embarrassing. I still couldn't figure it out. But then when you go to like the main puzzle, this took me forever to figure this out. But you have a camera, and if you can't figure something out, all you have to do is take a picture of it, and Indy will give you a hint. So instead of having somebody like, walking into the room when you do, going, oh, I bet if you turn that and go over there and then attach that to Achilles' heel and that to Zeus's beard, it allows you it gives you room to do what you want to do. But then if you're like, wow, I think I messed this up, you just take a picture of it. It's like, well, there's your hint. You can keep taking pictures, and it's more and more hints until he might basically just go, are you a dumbass? Just pull the lever.
That'd be great if you just turned the camera and went,
what's wrong with you?
This.
All right. So that's also really cool. The puzzles are fun, and they match. They're relevant. They don't like you kind of have to find them. It's not like you walk into this courtyard and it's like, oh, look, there's a big puzzle. They're hidden so far anyway. It's, man.
Which is how it would be in the movies.
Right, exactly. Like Temple
You
of
know?
Doom. It's like he feels
Right.
like, oh, there's a breeze coming from this statue.
Or somebody leans on the
and
wall
puts-
like this, and then the wall goes back. You're like,
yeah,
"Fuck."
exactly. Right. Yeah, and there was a couple of traps that were like that. That were like, okay, what if I
Yeah.
do this? And it's like, oh shit. And then you go like,
Yeah.
okay, I got to figure out how to get out of here. Which was awesome too. So it does have that pacing of the movies where you're like story and then characterization and then the bad guy comes in and then you got a fight scene, and then you got an action scene, and then you got a puzzle scene, and then you got and a lot of the cinematography too, and close-ups and lighting. I've seen some of that. I'm like, wow, that's a Spielberg shot right there, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
I did see a comment online that Scott would really like, because he's gotten a lot of praise this game. He said, people would wish it was like VR now.
Oh yeah, I said
VR.
that. I said that multiple times. It's like somebody needs to make this VR now. But yeah, I mean but I think that making it VR, you wouldn't reach as many people that love Indiana Jones. I want everybody to play this. Like, you know.
Oh yeah, obviously, you know. Yeah.
This is an amazing game. This is way better than I could have imagined it being. I mean, there are multiple times where I'm playing this and I'm like doing this, and I'm trying not to give anything away, but I'm doing this thing, and then I'm doing this thing, and then I find this, and then I do this, and then I use the tools that I have with me to do this and this and this, and then I get done and I look back and I'm like, God, that was like, holy shit, man, I'm Indiana Jones. You know, it's like it makes you feel like, you know, what you're doing is relevant and you know, not just there for show, not just there for gameplay mechanics. Everything is like it just feels right.
Mm-hmm.
How did you feel about the fact that it's not Harrison Ford's voice? Did that not bother you all that much, or?
No, not at all. I don't. He's only ever done one voiceover, and it was for a dog in some animated movie. And I could imagine that he's way too expensive for a video game. Mm-hmm. I mean, I can only imagine that. I mean, how much does he make a movie? You know what I'm saying? So his agent is probably like, if they even approached him, he's like, yeah, he's going to need like $30 million a day or something. You know, that's just not feasible for a video game, especially the amount of dialogue that you would have to do. So Troy Baker does a great job. He not only sounds like Harrison Ford, a younger Harrison Ford, but he does a lot of the mocap, if not all of the mocap. He does a good job just overall. I mean, there is times when it's like, okay, dude, you need to dial it back a little bit. But I don't know. I have no complaints. When I saw the trailer, I'm like, that's really, I don't know. But when you're playing the game and you're kind of in the head of Indiana Jones, and then it goes to a cutscene, and you just kind of forget about it. You kind of forget, you know, you stop nitpicking and you just kind of go with it, and it just works, man. Yeah. It's just, you know, the Todd Howard sprinkle. It just works.
When I watched your stream the other day, when it was in the cutscene, I noticed that.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like Harrison Ford, but I didn't play the game, so I'm just basing off that.
It sounds like Harrison Ford enough.
Right.
It's not like, oh, that guy sounds nothing like Harrison Ford. That guy sounds good enough as Harrison Ford, but he's also like one of the, you know, top voice actors. So he obviously does a good job. And as far as graphics, I'm going to jump to that real quick because this game is absolutely beautiful. 4070 Super, like I said, I had it defaulted to high. I put most everything on ultra that I could, and was still getting about 120 frames per second with reflections and you know, real-time shadowing and all that kind of stuff. It was great. It looks amazing. Everything is high detail. When you walk up to like paper or something that you pick up or anything, it's very high quality. It runs insanely good. And again, back to the specs that they previously showed, I don't know if those are quite accurate. I think that those are a little skewed more higher. I think even on lower systems, you could get probably some really good frame rates out of this. And even on the Xbox Series X, it is full. It's full 60 frames per second. So
I think it says like 1800p, native upscale, and so
yeah.
I have no problem with it, and it's probably doing a little bit of ray tracing on top. So
and of course they don't say anything, and they probably shouldn't. But it's also a when another studio from Microsoft comes out and goes, well, 30 for an action game is plenty. We want high fidelity, and Machine Games is over here going, hold my beer. And this is what you get for with 60 frames per second. It's super high quality.
Because you know what I noticed as well with my Xbox is what I'm used to, right?
Right. That's why you bought an Xbox when it first came out. It's like 60 frames per second.
Yeah, but this what I'm used to now. When I play a game on Xbox, I go to the settings, I look at under visual, and I click performance.
Yeah.
Right, because I want 60 frames. On this one, I clicked visual. Oh, no option. It's just 60 frames.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's like there. Yeah. That's all you need.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah.
Playing.
Man, it plays it. The interactions, the fights and stuff. There was some people complaining that it's just another Dishonored. It's not. It's not a Dishonored. Dishonored. You want to beat these guys up. I go through when I have to when I see like a base or like getting into something with a bunch of Nazis, I will take them out one at a time if I can. And you just sneak up behind them and hit them with something. There's shit everywhere. You can pick up a rake. Guitars and violins are my favorite. Just bong, bang. God, that's so much fun.
I think there's someone, I saw a clip online of someone beating with a fly swat.
Yeah, you pick up a fly swat. It takes a little longer. But, but there's stuff laying around everywhere, and so you don't have to you're not like in a boxing match. You can, if you like that, but I don't. I take a shovel and just beat the crap out of them. You can take your whip and get their ankle, pull them on the ground, bap, knock them right out. Man, it's great. But there's some larger Nazis, some beefier guys, and I'll try to take the little ones out first, and then this guy, like one of them, I picked up a wine bottle and threw it at him, and he caught it, and then hit me with it. I'm like, what the fuck? He just caught that thing, and I didn't even do anything. I was just shocked that he just caught it and went, bap. I'm like, well, shit.
That's like when Indy punches one of the big guys in the movie, and then they just go.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Nothing happened.
Right.
And he's like, fuck.
It's like, oh, shit. Yeah, he gets his ass kicked a lot. I mean, it's just, Tony Todd is in this, the late Tony Todd. I don't know if this was his last performance, maybe? I don't know.
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah.
I heard that.
But the only thing about it, that it's in the trailer, but when he talks about the Great Circle, it's like if you take all of these things that happened around the world and it makes a circle. I'm like, dude, you can do that with anything. All of these McDonald's locations in Illinois, you can make a circle. Yeah. I mean, that part was just kind of silly, but I think I know why they this day and age, I think they wanted to make their own fiction or fictional item, even though Indiana Jones historically has gone after things that were part of our history. I think that they wanted it to not tie it to some religious aspect. You know what I mean? Like, not tie it to something, just to kind of keep it open. Not to narrow it into, just not necessarily to offend anybody, but just kind of keep it to where it's like, okay, this is not a movie. This is going to be a much longer game. So we want to be able to expand on stuff and kind of, be loose with the story. And so far, it's interesting. It's kind of hard to keep up with everything, but that may be just me.
Because that's the freedom they have with a game. They can just do what they like.
Right.
They don't confine themselves to one thing. It's like, this is what we can do about it.
Right.
So does this take place... Oh, I was going to say, does this take place in between movies or something like that?
Yes, this is 1937. So this is 2 years after Temple of Doom and 1 year after Raiders.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, Liam.
I was gonna, say,
Yeah,
because
should have
in
started with that.
movies, in movies they only have 2-3 hours to like tell the entire story
Right.
and all the historical stuff. It's like, oh, a game is well, explore to your heart's content.
Yeah, yeah, and it they want to make it to where, they have like creative control over what this thing is and how it's found and where it is and where you're going, and they don't have to follow certain things that are based in our history.
Yeah.
But I mean, you go to locations like you start in the Vatican, which is really cool. I mean, the 1930s Vatican, yeah, awesome. And then you go to Giza, and that's where I am right now. I have not finished the game, but I will say, I think it was about 1 hour into the game, and it is a long time since I've felt like this. Well, I would say I did the same thing with Space Marines 2, but about an hour in, I'm like, I really hope they are right now at this moment working on either DLC or another game. Mm-hmm. I mean, they need to be the Indiana Jones studio, period.
Yeah.
I mean, just you need to make these from now on. Forget Wolfenstein. Sorry, it's got a cliffhanger. Nobody cares anymore. This is your bag. This is your gig right now. They have done such a fantastic job with this. And not a lot of people remember this, but there's guys that started Machine Games from Starbreeze Entertainment, which made Riddick, Escape from Butcher Bay, I think is the name of it. If you guys remember that on the original Xbox, which graphically was a powerhouse. That was just an amazing looking game, and it was first person melee, and they did a really good job with that. So they have kind of their, I think that's why they wanted to do first person, because they do first person really well.
Yeah.
So it's on Game Pass now. You can go play it right now. PC, Xbox, soon to be PlayStation.
Yeah.
February,
About
I
spring.
think.
Oh, spring. They said
spring. Okay.
So whatever that means. But...
So yeah, I'm excited about that. I think everybody should play this. This game is just really, really good. So with that being said, I also played. There was an open beta for Delta Force, which added a couple of new maps. This game is going to be great. You need to put a pin in it. It's coming to consoles. It's on PC. It's a Battlefield / Call of Duty free-to-play mega game. So it's fun. It's a lot of fun. I mean, I've talked about it. There's not really a lot to talk about it that I have not talked about it in previous episodes, so go look at our backlog. But if you like that, if you like Call of Duty, if you like Battlefield, go check it out. It's really well. Nice. I mean, it's really well done. Graphically, it is also very light on the specs. I think when I was playing on my old PC with the 3060 Ti, I was getting easily 80 frames per second on everything high. On the 4070 Super, I'm getting like 120 on Ultra with reflections and all the stuff. It's a very clean looking game too, which is what I like, because like it's, instead of like looking for somebody's head that's poking up like way across the map with a sniper rifle, you can shoot their thumb. Like you can see, like it's very crisp and clean, and I like that. Anyway, Marvel Rivals. Have you guys seen this? This came out too.
Yeah, I tried a little bit of that as well. Actually, I've got to say.
So
I see it's like got 10 million players already.
Yeah, well, I was going to say that. Damn it, you ruined it.
Sorry.
I was going to say, okay, you take anime-styled, very attractive Marvel characters, put them in an Overwatch clone that looks way better, and is free to play. What do you have? 10 million players first weekend. I mean, it's not a shocker. Like, this is what people want. Just, continue giving them. Yeah, I did play it as well. I mean, are either one of you like an Overwatch fan?
I'm not a massive Overwatch fan or hero shooter type games. I'm not. But
no.
This was a bit fun.
I think it looks great, and I definitely think that like this is probably a good concept to have Marvel people, in like a battle royale type scenario. But I'm so turned off by Overwatch style game that's that's the reason why I didn't even play it. I mean, I'm a Marvel fan. I think the concept is great. If Marvel's playing Battle Royale, like if you just told me that, I'd be like totally into it. But the minute I seen that it was Overwatch, I was like, I'm not interested. I'm just
Yeah,
I don't like running in, dying really quick, starting over again, coming back in, and it's just
like
chaos.
doing your one job and then dying and then coming back in. Yeah.
And then and it's just massive chaos. Everything's going by so incredibly fast, and it's just absolute chaos happening. Nobody knows what anybody's doing. You have a bunch of 10-year-olds just,
Yeah, pretty much.
So it's like
that's Overwatch.
So it's like, yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It looks great though. So.
Yeah, it does. It looks really well, and the models are not bad looking either. I mean, male, female. I mean, they're very comic booky. In the sense of proportions and everything, which of course I think they should be. They're comic book heroes. But yeah, I did play a couple of matches. What did you think, Liam? I mean, it looks fun. It's just I'm with David. I'm not a big Overwatch fan.
Yeah, I'm not, but I just want to play it just to have some just have some Marvel heroes to play around with.
Yeah,
so that's what I'm gonna do. Just see all the powers. Like Wolverine looks ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Like ridiculously big. He looks massive.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where he was going, but I was like, whoa, that's Wolverine. Some of the characters I don't even know, like, because I haven't read the comics. I'm like, who's that?
Yeah.
they scrape a lot of them now. I was like, oh, Spider-Man, Iron Man, and a shark.
Yeah, yeah. There's a couple I didn't recognize either, and I wonder that's weird that they took those because there's such a large pool of Marvel heroes. But I played Spider-Man, and I was really impressed that you can swing, you can climb on anything. I mean, you can do whatever a spider does. And then of course I played Captain America and Black Widow and Storm. And Storm was my favorite out of all of them because of course you could have a super that you build up, and it's just like a tornado lightning strike kind of thing, and you float, you fly around, so you kind of you can move up and down and wherever, and kind of get up out of view and then come back down and zap people, and so it's fun. But it's again, this is how you do it, free to play. I wonder how much money this game has made already in microtransactions. I mean, it's probably a buttload, but I mean, it's well done. It looks well done. It got right in as soon as it dropped. No server issues whatsoever. Just dropped right in.
That was the other thing. It launched clean.
It did, man.
It just here it is, and everyone's like, all right.
10 million. Whatever, do it. So good. Who did this? Tencent, I think. Or,
I think NetEase.
NetEase. Yeah. Same thing. They know what they're doing when it comes to servers and stuff. They've had their problems, but I think they've learned a lot in the past. So it's running great. Okay, so the last game I played is Path of Exile 2. And I have to say, not that people out there don't already know this, but if you like action RPGs, I don't care what you are playing right now, uninstall it. This is the one you want. This is the game to play. These guys have nailed it, man. I mean, it's not without its problems, but holy cow. Liam, you are a huge Diablo 4 fan.
Mm-hmm.
No longer. You are now a Path of Exiles fan. I think that one of the reasons that I stopped playing Diablo 4 was that going through the campaign, building my character, I got to a certain point where I didn't leveling up and getting new abilities. I didn't really know where to go. I just kept upgrading what I liked. And I think a lot of people did that because when you go up, it's like, I don't want that. I don't want that. I don't want that. That's dumb. I don't want that. I'm just going to stick with these. And then you keep leveling up. And then before you even get to the end game, you've hit your peak on all the stuff that you like. So then you start spending those points in stuff that you don't even want. And then when I got to the end game, it was just more of a grind, and I really wasn't looking for that. Now, because of Liam's, persistence in that game, he says that the seasons, there's good seasons or bad seasons, just like any live service game, and it's probably better now, but playing Path of Exile 1, and I know, Liam, I've told you this, it's like you really got to try it. It's free to play. You really got to try it if you like that kind of game. I don't know if you ever did or not, but I really like that game a lot. I like what they did in it. It's free to play. The microtransactions are all cosmetic. You earn money. You can earn stuff in the game, or you can just but stuff you have to buy, obviously. But that funds the game. That's how those things work. And in the first one, it had a very weird economy where if you had something, like you found a bow, and you go to a guy in town, you go, here's this bow. I want this for this piece of equipment, or this resource and this resource. And you take those resources and you can blend them together, or you can put like stack 5 and it will make something else. And you just kind of getting stuff, and you would trade in stuff just to get what you want. There was no coin, swapping, and there was no currency. Well, they've changed that, and I was very apprehensive about it. But now when you do that, you go in town and you just get gold for it, and then you buy the stuff you want. And by doing that, it eliminates that. Okay, so if I trade with this guy, he's going to give me this and this. I don't need those. What I really need is this, and I can't find those. So that whole going back to town and going, oh my God, what are we doing, has now been eliminated to just give me what I want. That is, to me, personally, is a huge improvement. Some people don't like it, but I think it's great. It's just a standard. It kind of takes away some of that anxiety for me of trying to get the right thing.
Because I was gonna say, because I think with especially like when people go down to like the deep stuff when it comes to any RPG or action game like that, they want everything to be so like specific. Like, no, because this is how it would be. You have to get this and this material from this thing, and most of us are like, why is that 10 steps? I can just buy something.
Right, right.
There's RPGs, and then there's just, no, that's annoying.
Yeah, I mean, this game is not
like
called Store.
That's 2 hours of my time trying to find this one thing.
Exactly, right.
Let me play it.
Right, exactly, yeah.
So that's a balance that they will do need to always have in these games.
Yeah, save that for the game Town Vendor on Steam. I'm sure there's probably one. That's all you do. But this game, holy cow, man! There's some misconceptions out there. For one, it is not the Dark Souls of action RPGs. I have never once felt like this is a Dark Souls game. Okay, for me, I'm playing the sorceress. I have a lot of magic. I can deal a lot of damage. But it's not anything. I haven't run across anything that unfairly just whipped my ass. I didn't just like da. Oh, what's this? And I'm dead. That's Dark Souls. For me, anyway.
Yeah.
Every boss that I've encountered is you have, or at least I have abilities that will counter whatever they're doing. If it's poison, if it's electrical, if it's frost, any of that kind of stuff. And you can. This is the big thing. This is a huge thing. It doesn't sound like much, but in Diablo 4, if you're using a mouse and keyboard, you use your mouse to basically attack everything. Okay. Now you have to hold Shift if you want to shoot things and not move in that direction. Much like Path of Exiles 2. I mean, Path of Exiles 1. They have a new mode in this called WASD, and this is a legitimate game changer. WASD moves your character. Your mouse is basically your reticle. So what you're doing is you're playing this game top down, but like a first person shooter, and it is amazing. You're circle strafing, you're rolling, you're dodging attacks. It changes everything, and it feels great. It takes about 1 minute to get used to, and then you'll never want to play the other way again. People that say this is too hard or is having difficulty, maybe because you're playing a melee, or you have a melee build and you're using the mouse to try to click on everything. Don't do that. Use WSD. The controller works the same way. So you have your left that moves the character, and then your right for aiming. So it works like that, but on a keyboard and mouse, and it's absolutely brilliant.
Actually, I had a friend try to get me into Albion online.
Yeah.
And I'm a big research guy. So like you know, he was sitting in the house with me one day and we were talking about it. And I'm like, oh, I'm just watching the 10 tips on Albion online. He's like, I never watch any of that. He's been playing for a long time.
Yeah.
And then one of the tips was you can change the settings to use WASD, WASD, to move around. And he's like, what? No fucking way! Holy shit! He's like, that's a game changer. That's a game changer.
It is. Like, it absolutely
then
is.
I tried it. I was like, this is I fucking hate clicking everywhere. This is great. I can actually feel like I'm moving the character.
You can move backwards and shoot.
Yeah.
Like backwards. It's you know, you can back out of stuff and like. It feels great. It looks great. It's the sound quality is there. I mean, it is. Oh man. Yeah. It is such a blast, very addictive. So,
nice.
Yes.
Maybe I'll try it out.
Now, I will say this though. There's a preface to this. Okay. Now, the first game was free to play, and this game is free to play. However, if you want to play early access, which is right now, there is a fee. The fee is $29.99. Okay, but in game you get 350. Like whatever the currency is to buy microtransactions, which equals $30. So they kind of give it back to you in the game. But what this does is they said that they're not a large studio, and we got to keep that in mind. This isn't BioWare. This isn't Blizzard. This is a small studio. Yeah. These guys love playing games, and they actually like us, unlike some studios. So that's how they fund making like the last leg of this game. They've funded it through the microtransactions and this early access. I had no problem at all paying $30 for this. I think this is a $70 game by every stretch of the imagination. Paying $30 for it to get it to play early and to go to the Reddit and go to their website and say, hey, just kind of interact with them and help make this better. So that 6-month run when it comes out on like console and PC and it comes out free to play for everybody will be a much better game. Right now, it is in such a state that is better than most AAA games released. If you're worried about it not working or being buggy, I haven't had any issues whatsoever. When it went live at like 1 o'clock, I'm like click, 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 click. Try to get into it. It was about an hour and a half later until servers kind of slowed down or leveled off a little bit, and I was able to get back. I was able to actually get on and play. Since then, I've had no issues. This weekend, 544,000 concurrent players on Steam. That's 500,000 people are playing this, and I've had no issues whatsoever. And of course, my level 8 ass goes back into town where there's other players, and they got freaking dude's got wings of flame, and a dude's got a cape that mirrors the galaxy, and there's a dude with a sword. I'm like, good God, man! The microtransactions are selling. Obviously, it's they're doing fine, and but I've given my money, and I'm not gonna do that. So when it comes out free to play, if you're just apprehensive about just paying for something like this, I totally understand it, but. Man, it is legit. It is a great game.
Did they have a time, like a window to when it's?
They said about 6 months. They're going to do early access for about 6 months. Yeah. So we're looking at next year, April, May, probably ish.
Yeah.
And I'm just glad to be able to scrape my data off my hard drive and go, well, this guy's so. But yeah.
The thing that ruined Diablo for me, because I did play, I think I was 3 that I played, and me and the wife played it pretty heavily until we got to level cap, and then the minute we get to level cap, we can get to an area and play with other people and and do raids and all that shit. And then this one guy we meet, very friendly guy, just started giving us all this crazy items.
Oh,
and
Yeah.
Ruined it, didn't it?
it completely maxed me out, and I was just like, I don't really feel like playing this anymore.
No.
Like
Same.
I'm done.
Same thing.
I do love the Diablo community when they do that, especially
Oh
like
my
towards
God.
the end of a Diablo season. Like you're getting close
Yeah.
to the end of a Diablo season, everyone's getting ready for the next one, You just go to town and people are just like dropping gold and like,
Yep.
oh, got 1 billion gold. Who wants any items? And everyone's just like sharing. It's really fun actually. It's really actually good to like people do that. It's like
Yeah.
like they'll just take you through anything. Oh, you want to do that boss? Here, let me. Gone.
Yeah,
Okay,
I have
go.
yeah.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I have a friend who's very into sort of like, man, I don't got time for that, and he'll just like, if there's a glitch, he finds out about a glitch. Oh, you got it. Like one time he hit me up, he's like, you got to play No Man's Sky, man, right now. There's a money glitch. I'm like, I'm not interested in the money glitch. No, you don't understand. You're gonna be able to get maxed out money. I'm like, I'm not interested. I already have millions of dollars in that game. I'm not interested in maxing out. I have nothing to work for. You don't understand. Same thing with Conan. He's, oh, dude, you got to know the codes, man. And I go see his base. He's got every kind of art guy, whatever. I'm like, did you get any of these guys? He's like, no, I just
Spawned them.
I'm like, but yeah. And the thing is like, he's like, he plays with me for a little while, and then he doesn't play the game anymore. You know, he's like, oh, I'm done with that game, and I'm like, I barely scratched the surface. So
Yeah.
like.
The same thing happened to me with Diablo 3. I was playing with a friend, and he's like, "Oh, I'm going to give you this this chess piece," and I'm like, "Okay," and he gave it to me. Oh, no, now put it on. I'm like, "Okay." Now go over here and do this, and I don't remember exactly what it was. I'm like, "Okay, sure," and boom, and then it's like, "Okay, now I want you to log off and log right back on and join my game." I'm like, "Why?" And he goes, "Just do it." I'm like, "Okay," so I logged back in and came back in, and it's like. So what's your stats on your chess piece? And I'm like, holy shit, it's like maxed out. He's like, you're invincible. You're welcome. And I'm like, oh my God. It was like from then on, I was like, you run the game. Like I was just walking through, just I was like a lawnmower. And and like after a while, I'm like, I could have taken it off and but at that point, it's like, it's
ruined.
It's ruined. Yeah, you just ruined the game for me. But he thought he was, his intentions were good. He just had he told me that, I would have been, no, don't do that, man. You're just gonna run the game for me.
Yeah.
So
it's like I want you to keep playing with me, so I'm gonna give you this great armor.
Right? Exactly.
When you get it, you're like, I don't want to play anymore now.
Yeah.
It's like, what the hell?
Yeah.
It backfires.
Because it was he had the same armor with those stats, and somehow he giving it to me and then dropping back in, it duplicated it. So now I had like two of the same stat. I gave him his back, and then it was like, it was just like, damn it, dude. But
a game like Diablo though, a lot of it, which I haven't played for a while, a lot of the sort of end game content is actually fun when you work towards it.
Yeah. Right, well, yeah, that's what it's for.
Like I beat it. The only time in Diablo 4 that I will accept cheese, and glitches, is to beat freaking Lilith. Because she is impossible. She is impossible to do normally. And any Diablo player will say that, because she is broken. Completely, all the time.
Good grief. Well, let's get into this one story, and then we'll get out of here. But I did find my 2024 year in review for Xbox. Does Sony do this? I don't know. Surely they do something like this, right?
Probably. I mean,
I know Steam does. Steam's not out yet. They haven't done that.
Sometimes companies do. Sometimes they don't. I'm pretty sure Xbox didn't do it every year, but they try to.
I just want to know what the hourly play is
on console. 65 hours.
No way! Get out of here! Really?
Yeah.
You barely play that thing, dude.
On
Dust
PC,
the cobwebs off that thing.
On PC, 536 hours.
Jeez.
I think that might be my preferred platform.
I think so. Yeah.
So, so that was my.
You know what?
Wow.
I wonder if I should look up what my Steam playtime is total. It's probably like the reverse. It's probably like I have probably like 60 hours on Steam.
PC, and then
Yeah.
Well, this isn't Steam. This is just playing like Xbox PC games. Steam is different. When my Steam comes out, it's going to be a little embarrassing. It's going to be like, dude, do you like sleep?
Yeah. On my Xbox in total, I've got 1,329 hours.
Holy
dude.
shit!
Oh my god!
You
man.
like blow my number away. I'm like 780 hours. You're like 1,300.
Holy
Jesus.
shit, dude!
Get out there right now and go touch some grass.
Right, take a break, dude. Take a break. Get some fresh air. Get some sun.
Yeah. That is me taking breaks. You know, I'm always really like 4,000 just me.
Oh god. Well, that's a good segue into what we're going to talk about now, because this is I don't know how legitimate this guy is, to be honest, but he seems to be very outspoken since he no longer works for Sony. So I'm always a fan of that. But this is Sean Layden, former COO of PlayStation. And there was an interview, and he talks about consoles. And it's not really a lot of stuff that we don't already know, but to come from, like an industry leader, it gives a little bit more levity, in my opinion. But he was asked basically about the growing over time of the audience for consoles. And the quick take is, we're not growing the next generation. We're losing the next generation to TikTok. The competition for gaming isn't Xbox and Nintendo. It's everything else in the zeitgeist. I hate that word. That can take your time away from the gaming activity. And we've kind of talked about this before. Is like these kids that are growing up now don't care about consoles. They really just don't have any, interest for them at all. But he goes on to say that. And I've said this for years, but he said, I'm afraid we've built AAA gaming into a kind of cathedral business, and it just can't grow any further. I think that goes hand in hand, right, with basically, console gaming and whatnot. The AAA market is it's anchored to consoles, even though those same titles could be on PC, but that's basically what they're tied to. That's what they want to sell their consoles. So what do you guys think about this? Is he right? Do you think that the market is, once we're gone, is gaming just basically going to go away?
No.
No.
Yeah. I mean, I think he probably has a point in the short term. But going long term, I think a business like the gaming industry has always sort of been up and down. It probably had its high points, and then it probably went down. And when we might be seeing a downward curve, and he might be saying, gaming is, it reaches peak and it's not going to get any higher. And it's like you don't have nobody has the foresight to know. The next big game that comes out, and all of a sudden everybody's in love with it, or some new console comes out, or you know what? Maybe the consoles they change, to compete with social media and TikTok, and maybe they alter the way they start doing business, and then we see a big change. But to say, going forward, it's going to be like this, I don't know if he has the foresight to really know that.
No.
That's just my opinion.
I mean, yeah, it's very hard to say. In 20 years it'll be like this, because there'll be more rich than there would be if that was the case. But I think Microsoft have it as well. How Microsoft are doing their business, they're not interested in selling the Xbox.
Right, everything's an Xbox. Yeah.
Because the Xbox isn't what's selling. The consoles aren't growing, and they know it. Even though PlayStation sell them 3-1, PlayStation aren't getting new console people in. It's the same PlayStation people.
Right, and that's what he's talking about, the gaming market. Yeah. Like when a new console comes out, it's the same person buying that console that bought the previous one. That's not growing your market.
But so Microsoft are like, hey, you got a PC, you got a console, you got your Amazon Fire Stick.
You got a phone?
You
guys
you
don't
got a
have
phone.
phones?
You guys don't have phones. But they'll put it everywhere, and that's a really good tactic. With the consoles, I hope consoles stay at least for the short term. I think they will. I mean, for now, they will, of
I think they
course.
will. I mean, they're both. There's going to be a PlayStation 6. There's going to be a next, line of
I mean, there's gonna
Xboxes.
be the next Switch next year. So consoles are here. But
Yeah.
I hope they stay like quite a bit longer. But beyond the PlayStation 6 and next Xbox, I know it's hard to say like what's going to happen because he also talked about consoles like we're sort of hitting a ceiling of what we can do. Because,
Well, one thing I think that Microsoft has ahead of Sony, and again, Sony's just figuring this out, but there's a lot of people going to PC.
yeah,
They're not seeing consoles as a feasible option for gaming anymore, especially when somebody's going, oh, for an action game, 30 FPS is perfectly fine. No, it is absolutely unacceptable. So it's in the that's just them kind of hurting themselves. But you can do way more with a PC, and I think personally, I think that TikTok crowd, the little ones that are coming up, are probably going to grow up and adopt more to a PC market than they are a console.
Yeah, probably are. Because normally how we sort of had consoles were, back in its gaming infancy, and we just had these boxes to play games with.
Yeah.
There was no internet, no social media, no tablets or smartphones, nothing to distract us. We're like, hey, we got this box in the room that plays these games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's changed. That's changed how we sort of use our devices because more people just play on their phones or go out and do different things.
Well, I think the younger crowd doesn't. They don't adopt things. They don't collect things like we do. You know what I mean? Like our age group from probably about like 25 to me. Is kind of like, we like the things, we like I've still got my 360. I've still got my original Xbox. I've still got my PlayStation 2. Or look at all these games I got in my closet. I mean, we like those collections, the tangible things that we can pick up and hold, like these little dudes. So, these younger people, they don't give a shit about that stuff. They give zero about that. What they collect and what they consume is really just media. It's on something digital. And
that media is played on anything.
Right.
It's not. Exactly. It's not attached to one thing.
Right.
It's just everywhere. It's just a screen.
Yeah. You want to play Fortnite? We'll just grab a phone. Grab a tablet. You don't need a console for that. You can play it, anywhere. And to them, it's no different. They don't go, I really, this is getting 60 FPS, but I think I could get 90 if I get, a new PC for Christmas. They don't give a shit about that,
Yeah.
It's just a completely different market, and I wouldn't know how to market to those people, and I don't know if you have to. I think that they might just adopt whatever you're doing as they get older, maybe. But yeah, consoles themselves, I think he's right in that they're not growing. I mean, Microsoft saw this years ago. I mean, it's just flat lines. Like, you can make this much money, but of course for corporations, that's not the making money is not the idea of the game. It's not the end goal. Making more money is the objective. It's always making more, not making money. It's always making more. So with doing that, you've got to build that market. And it's really hard to say right now. Even Sean Layden, Liam, you said it. You can't see that far in the future and see what it's going to be. So it's going to get kind of weird.
I do think Microsoft have a finger on a pulse when it comes to what's happening in the future. It might not always go their way, but they tend to know.
Yeah, what they do about it is sometimes
Yeah.
half-assed or but they can see what's happening in the future because they basically own the future.
Yeah, true as well.
It's like so but
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
anyway.
I mean, when you're like $1 trillion company, you're not there by mistake.
No. When most of the PCs in the world are running your operating system, you kind of tend to collect a little data.
Yeah.
But I encourage people to, I always, I said last week, I got a friend that I play with for years bought a new PC. He gave his old PC to his buddy that didn't have a PC, and now we're like, if we're doing anything, we're on Discord. We're like, it used to be Xbox party chat.
Parties,
but
now it's just Discord, yeah.
But once you get on PC, you realize that is bullshit and that is garbage and it almost never works. So it's like Discord, click, hey everybody, what's going on? It's just you just jump in and it's so much easier. And with those things, you have options. You have more options, and you can do whatever you want on it, and it just goes. Consoles are starting to look. They're starting to lose their affordability and their appeal to just plugging up and playing a game. You can't do that anymore. So
I think the only one who gets away with that now is Nintendo.
Well, we'll see. I mean, right now they do, but they got a new console coming out. It's like you get it. Okay, log into the Nintendo Network, create your account, download the latest patches for your OS. I mean, you could be looking at the same situation.
Yeah, I mean, Nintendo do tend to be in the 90s when it comes to the internet, so maybe they've done something.
I know, right? It's got the new 28.8 modem.
But also, like, with how everything is changing, I still see the same people arguing online with Twitter about, like, for example, Indiana Jones. It's like, Xbox could have sold more consoles if it was exclusive.
No, not true.
No, they just want to sell the game.
Yeah.
They want to sell their software. For one thing, like, shouldn't the game matter more to sell to 20 million people to 50 million people?
When you lose money on every console you sell and you make money on every game you sell, I'm sorry, but that's not. I'm not a genius,
Yeah.
I'm smart enough to drive a car. I can see that. That's easy stuff. That's kids play. So these people just want to argue over consoles and stuff, and that in itself is looking dumber and dumber every day. When you're going, my plastic box is better than your plastic box.
Yeah.
Give me a break, dude. Get over it.
So I think consoles will change from that because we're not in the 90s anymore. We're not in the 2010s anymore.
No.
And so I think consoles will lose their exclusivity. I think
they already have.
I mean, they have. I know they have, like, the PC and everything. But I think PlayStation games in the future will go to Xbox. And I mean big PlayStation games. So I think they will, coexist more than ever if the console wants to stay.
Well, I predict that No Man's Sky will come out on PC only, and all consoles will die. So, we'll see.
There was a.
I'm probably wrong about that, but
yeah.
There was a chart for, like, the PS5's most bought of this year. Most games sold. Guess what was number one?
What?
I mean, it's not a surprise.
Call of Duty.
Call of Duty.
God of War.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Guess what wasn't on that list?
God of War.
Any PlayStation exclusive.
Wow, that's not surprising at all. I'm telling you, these games don't sell. They don't make money and they don't sell. 10 million copies? Okay. What, Spider-Man made sold like 11 million copies?
Mm-hmm.
Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
There are 10 million people right now playing Marvel Rivals and probably just throwing money at their screen, buying costumes and whatever. And, NetEase is just like raking it in.
Yeah. So this is like, so I mean, like, when it comes to what consoles are now to the future of the next generation of gaming and beyond, is Sony can have their exclusives on your plastic box. So they've already sold like 1 million on like one game. Spider-Man does because of Spider-Man. The rest, they're losing money.
Yep.
the new generation, they don't care if it's on a PlayStation. They just want to play it on their tablets.
No,
Right.
So having the game everywhere, that's what sells your game.
Looks like December 18th is when Steam Year in Review comes out. Just letting everybody know. So,
okay.
So that's so we'll discuss later.
Is that when Scott questions the life choices?
I hope it doesn't have the games I played on it. So, that might be embarrassing. Anyway, so yeah. Well, with that being said, I think it was kind of a slow news week, but we've got the Game Awards coming out, and hopefully some trailers. I really don't give two shits about what Jeff Keighley thinks is the best game of the year or whatnot, but give us some trailers. Give us a shadow drop of No Man's Sky. I don't know. Give us Gears on PC. Seriously.
I think you mean Light No Fire.
What did I say?
No Man's Sky.
You said No Man's Sky.
Oh,
Light No Fire.
You know what I mean? Light No Fire.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
God. I do that more. It's just so, it's kind of like together.
It is very No Man's Sky looking.
Yes.
It's
just the title. It's 3 words. It's
it has no in the title.
Right.
Light No Fire. No man. He guy really likes no.
Yeah.
But I just want to see how
different
it's going to be from how different is it going to be from No Man's Sky? Like, it already looks sort of like No Man's Sky.
If it's, I don't know. That's the point. That's what's so intriguing.
Yeah.
It's like, what is this game going to be? What is it? It looks like you and your friends are building a castle, and then you get on your dragons and go fuck shit up.
Yeah,
I'm in.
I'm
okay.
I'm okay with it. Having a lot, a fair decent amount of No Man's Sky elements.
Right.
But exactly like No Man's Sky, no.
No. Right. Yeah, we don't want that.
Right.
No.
Right.
I don't think that's what they're going for.
That's what I'm interested in seeing. Like, how different? What's the difference? So.
Right. So we're until it comes out, we're going to end the show on like a Light No Fire corner topic.
Right.
So, until it comes out, but maybe we'll get a trailer. I think that's when we got the last one, right? It was at the Game Awards last year.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Fingers crossed. And that is on the 8th. When is that? That's on the Thursday.
It's Thursday,
the 12th. Yeah. So we'll have plenty to talk about next week. So until then, check us out on Twitch, and we're also, the audio version you can listen to in your car is on Spotify and Apple and all that good stuff. So thanks for dropping in, and we'll catch you next week. And take it easy. Go play some games. Have some fun.